Hi there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time you're choosing to join me, thank you just for joining. This is Real Talk with Elaine. And I'm just coming to you real briefly today because I know there's been a lot of information going out over our YouTube channels and on TikTok that has been talking about some of the recent issues with regards to CVS Caremark, and I want to talk about that right now. Real Talk with Elaine. I am a YouTube content creator, and if this is your first time joining me, thank you for joining me. This is going to be one of my brief videos, but you're welcome to join me on some of my more lengthier videos that deal with a little bit about how we progress through this GLP-1 progress through the GLP-1 journey with our, different kind of things that we come up with within this journey, such as how do we handle it from our mental health perspective, how do we handle all the changes, the side effects, and different things like that. So if you want to hear more about that and my updates on how I'm doing, I am on 12.5 Mounjaro. I've been on that since March of 2024. I was placed on it because of a diagnosis with type 2 diabetes and also being obese and other comorbidities that I have had. So I do want to make sure that you, if you haven't had a chance to catch up with me and just see my journey, I've started at 300 pounds. I'm now at 236. And so that's a total of 64 pounds I've lost. And I did that within about a year and 2 weeks. So just want to just keep you encouraged about how this medication is amazing. But today I want to delve into a very quick topic and just bring a word of inspiration to my fellow GLP-1 users and just let you know that we are here praying for you. We're here encouraging you. We're here supporting you, and we will fight for you to make sure that this journey that you have begun will not just be cut short for you. So let's just try to talk about some of the things that's kind of been on my mind this morning. One of the things is I've noticed that there's a lot of fear going around and some fear mongering, depending on who you're watching. There are some very reliable sources out there, such as Dave on the pen. We love Dave. He always brings us the news very current and updated and accurate as possible. Also, the downsides with Chris and Lorraine, we always go to them when we know that they have we have things that we need to kind of hear about, and they give us more of the personal perspectives on it and very emotional perspectives on it. So we love that piece of it because it helps us to connect as people, right? So, those are two that I just typically go to when I know that there's something that I need. Also, Fit Flavor Fun, which is Allie, and Allie does a really great job of bringing us the comedic side of all of this. So I want to thank all of them right now and just know that I'm not referring to those people when I say this, but there are some people that are putting some very cruel, fear-mongering kind of things out. They don't really have a lot of information. They don't even really know how to describe to you what's really going on. So let me see if I can just clearly, because I am one personally, not being affected, but personally I am my pharmacy benefit manager is CVS Caremark. Okay. So for some people who just didn't understand, your insurance company may be one thing. You may have United Healthcare, you may have Blue Cross Blue Shield, you may have Aetna, you may have whatever, but your pharmacy benefit manager is actually the group that manages your formularies for your drugs. So when you have a particular medication that requires you to get a prior authorization or anything, that goes to your pharmacy benefit manager. Well, CVS Caremark is one of the largest, if not the largest, pharmacy benefit managers in this country. and therefore they carry a lot of leverage. So it appears, based on what I've learned and what I've read, it appears that they kind of went into like a sidebar deal with Novo Nordisk, who creates Ozempic and Wegovy, and they decided to, because Ozempic and Wegovy's rates were lower, so they decided to go with them. Because why? It's the bottom line. It's all about the bottom line. And so in terms of Eli Lilly having Mounjaro and Zepbound specifically being for obesity management, they decided that they no longer wanted to pay for that. So they're not messing with those who currently, right now, who are on Mounjaro, which I'm very happy for, but we don't know, because if they made this deal for Wegovy, they could also make this deal for Ozempic, and those who are on Mounjaro may be forced to go to Ozempic. Now, why is this a big deal for those of us who are tirzepatide users versus those of us who are semaglutide? That's because we've done our research, we've read, we know, and that this tirzepatide is a much better product than semaglutide. And not to knock anyone who's on semaglutide, I've known some friends and family members who've done an amazing job through utilizing semaglutide products. However, for me, I've only been on tirzepatide, and it worked for me. So that was really good. And I just feel like that's just not something that I want to switch up right now. I'm a whole year into this process. So, but the concern that I think that a lot of people have is just the unknown, just not knowing if I switch over, what's going to happen. And it seems like CVS Caremark is offering those. Please double check. But I did read something where it says it's offering those who already had a prior authorization for Zepbound to be able to have that prior authorization immediately transferred over to Wegovy. So it's not like you do have to go through that again. So that's something that you may want to think about. But the fear of losing a GLP-1 medication coverage is valid. I do not want you to think that you should not have fear. There are just some folk out here who are just exasperating that fear and just making it much larger than what it needs to be. But don't let it overshadow your strength, okay? Your strength and your resourcefulness, it's greater than this issue here. You've come so far, and I know there has to be ways of navigating the uncertainty that surrounds this whole issue right now. First of all, I would like to say, make sure you advocate for yourself. I did hear a lot of great content creators say, get in there, talk to your employers, see if there's anything that you can do. I know I'm a part of a very large organization, and I plan to use a video, and I'll try to put it in our description if you haven't had a chance to see it. The Downsides did a great video where Chris addressed directly to employers. And he did say to us, it was okay for us to take this video and show it to our employers and make sure that they know that this is an option and that these medications are doing more for their bottom line than they could ever think of. And see, if they're just hearing it because I directly have worked in HR for over 15, 20 years. And I say 15, 20 because I've actually been doing it longer, but I'll just give myself that much time. But I've been working in an HR umbrella for over that time. And I actually work for an organization now that has over 23,000 employees. So we would be considered as a pretty large organization. And I know I had to fight to even get mine, being type 2D. And so I just know that even with our folk who are fighting because of obesity or because of sleep apnea or other comorbidities, we have to stick together, okay? I'm not just going to say, well, I got mine and I don't care about you all. No, that's not the right attitude. And so if you really care about your coworkers and your friends and people like that, do what you can do. I know I'm going to share the video with our benefits management team, and I'm going to make sure that they know that this is something that they need to look at together. Look at it in their staff meeting or whatever, because they need to understand, because some of them do not suffer from obesity, like quite a few of them probably don't. And so, I taught a class in college. I taught a collegiate class for many years, Intro to Sociology. And the one thing that I always helped my students understand was the sociological perspective. If it's not happening to you, sometimes you're just so disengaged. And then those who are marginalized, like us, who are obese, like us, who have comorbidities, those who don't have that, they don't clearly get it. So sometimes we just have to make it real to them. And I thank God for Chris and Lorraine, because that video that he did, it was so compassionate. It has a lot of facts and information. And if you have any influence in your company, even if you don't know the influence that you have, just share the video with your benefits team and let them know, hey, there's actual proof out here now. There are studies that have been done to show that we can get beyond this moment. We can see how it's beneficial for our organization to have people to be able to get control of their obesity and be able to give more hours to the organization, have less claims for medical visits or medical procedures or what have you. This is working, and we need them to know that. Secondly, explore assistance programs. There are some other things that you can do. Many pharmaceutical companies do offer patients assistance through their medications. I'm not saying, I don't know if Eli Lilly would do that. I mean, they're making so much money off of us. Why not, right? Why not? If you have someone that's really in a serious situation, if you know you're 300, 400 plus pounds, or even 200 plus pounds, and you know that this is really wearing you down. You know that you feel that your life is coming very quickly, rapidly to a finish line because you cannot get control of your weight. And I hate to say it like that, but I've been there. I have been there. I was almost 400 pounds back in 2013. Did I say 213? 2013. And I remember having to make that decision to do a gastric bypass. And it was hard for me. It was very, very difficult for me because I knew that this was something that could change the path of my life. And it did. And for a while, it was in a good way, but the weight came back. And so I knew there had to be something more that was going on. So what wasn't being attacked was this. The only thing that was being attacked was my physical body, but not my mental. And so these GLP-1 medications offer that for us. So it's way different than just having a gastric bypass, which most organizations and most insurances still cover, which is so ironic. Because it's only taking care of, for me, one part of the deal, which is the physical, not the mental. And the mental, we all know, those of us who are on this, we know that the mental is far greater, okay? So please make sure you reach out to some of your pharmaceutical companies, reach out to Eli Lilly, reach out to Novo Nordisk, whatever you have to do, and see if there's some way you can write them a letter. You can plead to them for your situation. We have to do this. This is still part of advocacy as well, but we have to do this. And then sometimes they do offer some assistance to people who just can't afford it. Okay. And so hopefully, I'm going to be praying for you that that's something that you'll be able to do if that's your situation. And finally, your lifestyle strategies. I've been talking about this for the past couple of videos on how we have to change our lifestyle strategies. Unfortunately, I got to 1 year before I really became real about it again, because I just was like, oh, I'll take a walk here or there. I'll do some walking. I was moving, but I wasn't moving in the way that I want. And stop watching these content creators. Oh my God. Thank you for you, Allie, for putting out a video. I just saw this one and it was incredibly funny, but it was real because you have some content creators out here who will say to you, you don't have to do nothing. This medicine does it all. No, it doesn't. Because if you are not making some of these commitments to yourself to say, I want to be different, I want to change, you're doing the same thing I did when I got up under that knife in 2013. You're just saying, hey, do it all for me. Let me just sit here and just, bash in the benefits of it. Bask in the benefits of it. That's not right. You're doing yourself a true disservice. So make sure the people that you watch are quality people, and that they're not just feeding you a bunch of junk and telling you to do nothing but shoot a shot in you or throw a pill in your mouth. That's ridiculous. Please stop. Don't do that. Okay? You owe yourself more. If you're really serious about the journey you want to be on, and if you are, because if you're just trying to do this so that you can get in a wedding dress, or so you can go to some big event, or you can look cute on the beach this summer, those are all the wrong reasons. And I hate to tell you that they're all the wrong reasons, because they're not life sustaining. So lifestyle changes, changing how you eat, changing your exercise, or increasing or starting an exercise regimen that includes strength training, because what you're going to experience on these medications completely is muscle mass loss. And once you start doing that, it's awful. It's awful, because it's going to take a while for you to catch back up. All right. Stress management is also another thing you need to do. Do not allow these fear mongers to sit up here and put you in because I'm not even personally dealing with it from a perspective of being threatened to have my meds removed from my insurance. However, I'm still afraid for you all. The stress is taking me down. I have sat here and I'm like, oh my God, what are people going to do? I've actually emailed some content creator friends and was like, hey, have you heard about this? I actually am feeling for them, and I'm praying for them, because I know what I see this medication is doing for you. And I know I don't want to see anyone lose this. I really don't want to see you lose this benefit. So please, let's all band together, stick together, do what we need to do together. And then finally, I want to say, being on this GLP-1 medication journey is one that requires patience, perseverance, self-compassion, strength. Okay? Every step you take toward better health is a true testament to your strength and your commitment to yourself. Don't forget about this. It's always about you. No one else. It's about you. Progress isn't linear, but every small victory adds up. Trust the process. Don't give up. That's what put us in this position now. And I just have to say that so many people gave up, and the insurance companies got tired of losing money. And that's why they place such brutal restrictions on how we can even get our medicine. Listen to your body and celebrate your wins. I don't care what they are, even if it's your first week. If your win was, I didn't get one piece of candy, one slice of cake, I didn't drink one soda, I didn't drink one alcoholic beverage. If that is your win, celebrate it, because every little win adds up to something greater. Okay? You're doing something very incredible for yourself, and it's all worth acknowledging it. Keep going, keep believing, keep striving. Never underestimate your own resilience. I believe in you, and I thank you for just joining me for this special, special message on today. From Real Talk with Elaine to you. We're going to do this together. Put a strong arm in the chat if you made it all the way through the end. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.